Hello, today we will start the lecture number 3 on the course on heat and mass transfer. So we will continue with the topic of conduction. We have already started discussing the topic in the previous class. Okay, so you already have learnt about the resistance concept, the thermal resistance, which is equivalent to the electrical resistance. Okay. Also you have learnt about the Fourier's law, which describes the rate of heat transfer through a slab. We have also learnt about the composite slab, okay, and the rate of the heat transfer, the thermal resistance in a composite slab. Okay, we will all continue with that topic in this class also. So let us write that the rate of heat transfer through a slab, the rate of heat transfer through a slab is Q is equal to Ka T1 minus T2 by X. Okay, where X is the thickness of the slab. We have already learnt about this thing. Okay, this is also known as the Fourier's law. Okay. Also, this unit of this Q will be in watt. Okay, and also another point is that this Q is not a function of this X. This Q is not a function of this X. Suppose this is the slab. T1, T2, this is X. Okay, so this Q is not a function of X because there is no heat generation or accumulation in this slab, because there is no heat generation or accumulation. Okay. So the thermal resistance or thermal in conduction will be equal to T1 minus T2. This is the temperature difference, okay, which is equivalent to the potential difference in electricity, in electric current. So T1 minus T2 by heat flow. Okay, so you know this from the analogy, and this will be equal to X by K. Okay, so this is the thermal resistance in conduction. Okay, you already know this thing. Okay, and the unit of this thermal resistance will be, the unit of thermal resistance will be Kelvin per watts. You remember this thing, it will be Kelvin per watt. Okay, so now we will discuss about the convection, the convective heat transfer, and the convection thermal resistance. Okay, so now let us start with convection. So you should have already known that what is convection. The convection, as you know, it is a process involving the movement of fluids. It is a process involving mass movement of fluids. Okay, when there is a temperature difference, and this temperature difference produces a density difference, okay, which results in the mass movement of the fluid molecules, then this process is known as the natural convection. So there has to be this convection. So there has to be a temperature difference. Okay, and this temperature difference creates density difference. And this density difference which results in the movement of fluids, because the fluid will move due to the density difference. So the high density fluid, which is actually lighter in weight, it will tends to move upward. Okay, and the cooler, the lower temperature fluid, which will tend to move, which is heavier in weight, it will move in the downward directions. Okay, so we will discuss about this. Now suppose there is a plate. Okay, there is a plate which is maintained at a uniform temperature, suppose TW, which is maintained at a uniform temperature of TW, which is higher than the surrounding fluid temperature, that is TF. TF is the surrounding fluid temperature. This is in, so suppose there is fluid around this plate and this fluid having temperature of TF. So this fluid, on getting heated, it will become lighter and it will tend to move off. It will tend to move in this direction. It will tend to move up. Okay, so it will move up due to the effect of bouncy. And the colder fluid, which will move towards the wall, will tends to move down. This is the cooler fluid, it will tend to move down in this direction, and this cooler fluid will replace this fluid which is moving up, the hotter fluid. Okay, this cooler fluid will take its place. So this is how the convection current will be set up. Okay, so this is the process of natural convection. Okay, now there is another convection process which is known as the forced convection. When this movement of this fluid, is caused by some external devices like a pump or a compressor, then the process is known as forced convection. Here what happens, that the fluid is made to flow along the hot surface, and the heat is transferred to the wall. Heat is transferred from the wall to the fluid. Okay, so here intentionally the current is being set up in the forced convection. Now this film coefficient of heat transfer, or the heat transfer coefficient of the fluid, over here, see over here, the heat transfer coefficient of the fluid okay, it is denoted by H. Okay, now this H is equal to Kf by delta. Now first of it, here consider a diagram. Let's suppose this is a so this is a wall. So this is the wall. Okay, and suppose there is this fluid film adjacent to this wall. Okay, this is the fluid film. this is the temperature of the wall. Okay, this is suppose TW, and this is the temperature of the fluid film. This is TF. Temperature decreases in this manner. Okay. Now in this convection process there is a fluid film which is immediately adjacent to the wall, as you can see over here, and the temperature varies from this TW to TF. Okay, you can see this temperature actually is decreasing in a linear manner, and heat is conducted through this fluid film, and then it is transported to the fluid. Then it is transported by the fluid motion. Now this rate of heat transfer through this film, the rate of heat transfer through this film will be minus Kf Tf minus Tw by delta. Okay, this is similar to that we have done in conduction, where Kf is, what is Kf? This Kf is the thermal conductivity of the film. Kf is the thermal conductivity of the film. And this delta is the thickness of the film, or the film thickness, and the film coefficient of heat transfer, this H, this H, we have already, I have said this H is the heat transfer coefficient. So this heat transfer coefficient is equal to Kf by delta. So now you substitute this value of H in this equation. Okay, that is similar to that of the solids, where Ka del T by X, where in place of X there is the film thickness. Okay, film thickness, which is delta. So now you substitute the value of H in this equation. So this equation becomes Q is equal to HA into temperature difference. Okay, so this is the equation. So now this rate of heat transfer Q, this rate of heat transfer, which increases with the increase in value of H, or the heat transfer coefficient. Okay, so now again, the higher the value of Kf, and lower the value of this film thickness delta, the more higher will be the value of H. So this Q actually depends upon this Kf and delta. The higher the Kf and less the delta, the more will be the value of Q. So now, as the velocity of the fluid increases, so the film thickness, delta will decrease. Okay, so as the fluid speed increases, the delta will decrease. So as the delta will decrease, so the heat transfer will increase with increase in the velocity of the fluid. Okay, you have understood? Okay, now for gases, now see, for the gases, this Kf will be low. This Kf will be very low. So as the Kf is low, so this is the rate of heat transfer from the solid wall from the solid wall to a gas will be very less compared to that of the liquid. Because the thermal conductivity of gases is very low. So now from here you see the thermal resistance offered by a fluid film. The thermal resistance offered by a fluid film R will be this temperature difference by this heat flow, TW minus TF, temperature difference by this heat flow. Okay, that will be equal to, as you can see, 1 by HA. 1 by HA. Okay, so this will be the thermal resistance of a fluid film. Now consider this wall. Okay, this wall, and here there is heat transfer. There is heat transfer from the hot fluid to the cold fluid. Hot fluid to the cold fluid through this wall. Okay, so here there is a hot fluid, and here there is cold fluid. So the heat transfer coefficient for the hot fluid will be, suppose it is H1, and for the cold fluid it will be H2. And this thermal conductivity of this wall will be K. Now so for the heat transfer from this hot fluid to the cold fluid through this wall, okay, so there will be three thermal resistances in series. So first resistance will be of the convective thermal resistance of this fluid, then there is this wall, and there is another fluid, that is this cold fluid. Okay, it will also have a thermal resistance, convective thermal resistance. Okay, for that we have to find out the overall resistance of this thermal circuit. Okay, so the resistance will be like this. 3 will be in series. This will be TH, the hot fluid. This will be T1 at the entry of this wall. Here it will be T1. Here it will be T2. And here that will be cold fluid, TC. Now we name these resistances as R1, R2 and R3. So the equivalent resistance of this circuit will be R is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. You know this, what is R1, R2 and R3. This R1 is the, I have already said, but I am repeating once more, that is the convective resistance of this hot fluid. Then there is this resistance, thermal resistance of this wall, and then again we have a fluid layer. Okay, convective thermal resistance of this cold fluid, that is R3. So R1 plus R2 plus R3. Now what is R1? As we have already seen that the resistance of a fluid, the resistance of a fluid will be 1 by HA. 1 by HA. This A is the cross sectional area. The cross sectional area will be same for all these three surfaces. Okay, this is the cross sectional area will be same. So for R1 it will be 1 by H1 into A. Okay, so H1 is the H1 is the heat transfer coefficient of this hot fluid, and for this wall, it will be, this wall has a thickness of suppose x, so R2 will be x by K, and this R3 will be 1 by this, for this cold fluid it will be 1 by H2A. Okay, so this will be the overall resistance, this will be the overall thermal resistance of the circuit. Now this heat flow through this circuit will be, temperature difference Th minus Tc by the overall thermal resistance. So is equal to Th minus Tc by this overall resistance. Okay, so this will be the heat flow rate. Now see what this A is common, so the A will go up, A into Th minus Tc by 1 by H1A, 1 by H1A plus x by Ka plus 1 by H2A. Okay, sorry, this A has already gone up, so this A will not be there. 1 by H1 plus x by K plus 1 by H2. Now that is equal to UA Th minus Tc. So this U will be overall heat transfer coefficient. This U is known as the overall heat transfer coefficient. Okay, U is the overall heat transfer coefficient, where 1 by U is equal to, you can see over here, you can compare this, 1 by U is equal to 1 by H1 plus x by K plus 1 by H2.